It's a Christmas December hike, what we're doing. We're at a place called Luthrie in Fife. We're walking from here to Newburgh. So we're going via Norman's Law. So I'll just be taking footage along the route. So it's a bit, it's just a small village, and suddenly there's an explosion of hikers and people here. So I'll keep footage on the way along on the route for you. We're just going to start heading off. So we're just heading through the farm towards Norma's Law. So, we're not doing too much because it is quite a short hike. There isn't much daylight and the weather's crap, to be honest. It's just miserable, misty and drizzly. But so there it goes. So we've got a nice Christmas dinner to look forward to after it. The Caledonian Hill Walking Club does the Christmas lunch hike on the second Sunday of December. So we do the hiking and we'll have our Christmas lunch after it. That's a tradition. Normally it's the third Sunday of each month, but for the December one, it's the second one. And it's just fairly short. Got an extra hour in bed. The usual pick-up time's 8 o'clock. There's a couple 7 o'clock starts throughout the year, but normally they're 8 o'clock. But this particular one was 9 o'clock because it's just across the water really. It was a Dundee based club, so it was just going over the Tay Bridge and not that far really. So as usual, I'll just gather footage along the route and I'll share it with you. I'm not quite sure what the mileage is yet. It's from Luthrie to Newburgh, so I don't know what the miles are, but probably about 10 miles I'm guessing. I'll get the exact mileage later on and I'll let you know. So I was just checking there. I found out that Norman's Law, it's about 285 metres. The actual hike we're doing is going to be roughly about 14 kilometres or about 8 miles. So that's not too bad. I don't think we'll get much of a view at the top of Norman's Law. Law meaning hill, like for example the Dundee Law, also known as the Law Hill. In the old language, Law meant hill, so you could say Norman's Hill. But we'll get up there anyway and we'll see what view we get, and I'll share the footage with you. It's very damp and muddy. Lots of froth in the water here.
Will you just take you? Sorry. Big time. It's just snow.
Show the route. One thing about hiking up a hill when you've got waterproofs on is that if it's not raining, you just become wet from the inside rather than the outside, because it's just sweat like anything. That's the problem with all these waterproofs, because the weather just looked, you know, like it was going to be raining all day. But nothing sure if I take these waterproof leggings off, that'll start raining. So I'll leave them on for now. But there isn't much climbing on this hike. There's no Munros or anything in Fife. So the highest point today, as I say, will be Norman's Law, which is 280 metres or something above sea level to the summit. So it's just warm, clammy light, you know, with all these waterproofs on. But it's just got to make do with it. As I say, if I take them off, nothing surer, it'll just start to rain. So I'll just persevere for now. Once I've done the climbing, it'll not be so warm after that. It'll start cooling down a bit. It's just when you go up a hill, that's when you'll start to sweat. Or I do anyway. But to be fair, the weather's actually not bad considering. So I've been to Fife many times before, but I can't say I've been up Norman's Law. I can't say I've done this walk before. I don't think the club have done this one, certainly not in the meetings I've went to with them, and that's been nearly 15 years, so this will be a first for me. I've been in Fife often enough, but I can't say I've done this hill, so that's something different. And I shall share the footage with you when I get up there. It's the River Tay there in the distance. You might just be able to see that. And this is looking over from the Fife across the River Tay towards Dundee. So that's looking over across the River Tay towards Dundee, or the same side as Dundee anyway. Sooner did I say that it's actually drying up. It's now starting to rain a bit. So it's just as well to keep my waterproofs on. If I took them off, I would have been a bit annoyed because the rain's sort of starting again. So I did the right thing and keep them on. So at least they'll be dry from the rain. But unfortunately they'll be wet from the sweat from inside. That's the problem when it's a clammy light day. It's not really that cold. It's not warm, but it's not overly cold. And when you're climbing, it becomes really clammy when you've got all this waterproof gear on. So it's either that or get soaked from the outside in. So, I could hear a quad bike. The farmer. Car coming. Quad bike coming! There it is. Oh, you just missed it. I just got a glimpse of it there, but so that's where we just came from. Just came through there, closed the gate behind us of course, and then we continue on up. When we're in big groups like that, we tend to warn each other when there's vehicles coming, so you hear them shouting car. I made the correction and said quad. It's a quad bike. But you know what I mean, car, quad, vehicle. It just warns all the other hikers that there's something coming. It's something that we do when we're in a big club. We warn our hikers that there's vehicles coming up from behind. And that's the River Tay. So that's not Norman's Hill. Norman's Law, or Norman's Hill, is behind this one. You can just make out the A92 there in the distance. The A92 road. And I think the road down there is the A91 maybe, where it's going to be to meet the A92. So that's Norman's Hill there. I'll get a picture of it now before it goes out of view with all the mist and everything. So that's where we're heading up to. Top of Norman's Law. That'll be the highlight of the highlight of the hill walk for today. It's certainly the highest point. So, like I said earlier, there's no Munros in Fife, so it's just hills basically. You get the Munros up the north part of Scotland, but you won't get any in Fife. That's the highlight. That's the highest point we're going to. So you might as well hear the church bells from where we set off at Luthrie. We got up the hill, but unfortunately there's no view. It's just mist and low cloud. It's a pity because I've been hearing that the view up here would be really nice. You'd be able to see right across the River Tay and everything. Beautiful views, but unfortunately we're not going to get that today. So all I could really say is that up here, I've been up Norman's Law, and that's really it. But there's other days I suppose. So that's your view. Nothing really much.
Well, there is.
Touches the cairn at the top. So I can say I've been at the top, that's about it. Well, there's a wee shelter down there, I never noticed this, I'll show you this. Just spotted it there. Here we're just going to be basically heading down towards Newburgh. That's where the hike will be. Starting from Luthrie, ends up at Newburgh, going via Norman's Law. It's about 8 to 10 miles. Oh, that's us on the descent. That's as high as we go today on this hill walk. And we're just heading back down to lower levels. I think it's going to be alongside the banks of the River Tay and towards Newbury. Towards Newburgh. So it's a bit of a coastal walk, I suppose, in that respect. Not really light on the coast, but just more along the River Tay, by the River Tay banks. So I'm not quite sure exactly how far we're going to be going to the River Tay banks, but it's going to be following that route anyway, at least. I'll just see what way the club's going. The first port of call is to get down off this hill, and then from there on we're just heading in the direction of Newbury. So even if we were by the River Tay, we're not going to see a great deal because of all this mist, unless it clears up. So I think some of them are going by the nearer the River Tay, but the group I'm going with, I'm not quite sure if they're actually going that way. We're going to be going parallel with it because we're heading up towards Newbury, the town of Newbury. But there is another group going nearer, closer to the River Tay than I think than the way we're going. I think they're going more inland from that. So I'll just gather the footage along the route anyway, regardless as to what route I'm going. So we are going up by the coastal walk, so we're going to get a bit of a view of the coast. Well, by the River Tay. So it's coastal, well, you could call it coastal, I suppose. It is actually the River Tay, the banks of the River Tay. So it's going along the water side, might be another way of putting it. It's not actually the coast by the sea, it's by the River Tay instead, but I just call it the coastal path. So that's what it's referred to. So I shall gather the footage of that when we get there, and the footage from here along the way as well. So at present we're going through this bit of woodlands at the moment. Some of the groups going a different route, but I'm going to go by the following this route, this group. So we're all basically going to be meeting up at Newburgh anyway, so we're taking different routes.
Yeah, because on the map it was big dogs 230.
Oh, there's some deer over. There's some deer over there in the distance actually. I just spotted some deer. And I managed to get it on the film. Some deer, I just spotted some deer over there in the distance there. It just ran over to the... I got it on the film anyway. So it's actually, the weather's not too bad down here. It's a bit more promising. I came down from up there, it was really misty at the top of Norman's Law. But lower down here on this lower ground, it's quite pleasant. So getting some not bad footage. So we're just still en route to the coastal path, the Fife coastal path as they call it. And so gather up more footage as I go. So I'm noticing quite a lot of this froth again. A lot of froth in the water here, I'll show you. So I'm not quite sure what that stuff is like, but I'm noticing it. I noticed it earlier on in a load of water coming down the side of the track. Just thought I'd highlight that. So it's not just because of the bubbles or anything like that that causes this froth, it's possibly something, a substance that's in it perhaps. I don't know. The River Tay coming into view again. Get this one, can it? There's Newburgh coming into view now. So there's a nice view of Newburgh and the River Tay as well. It's coming into view now. Drum Island, that's the name of that island that's in the centre. Swim out to that. So that's Drum Island then. That's Drum Island. And the River Tay just opposite Newburgh. And that's Drum Island with all the reeds on it. And the town of Newburgh. Newburgh on Tay, or Newburgh upon Tay in Fife. And I know across the River Tay there is Port Allen. Could have been there before actually. It's quite nice. It's in that kind of area there. Port Allen on the other side of the River Tay. It's quite ironic really, because I'd done a video regarding the town of Newburgh earlier on my channel, but it was for a completely different reason. It's not for a sightseeing hill walk reason, it was for a totally different reason. It was regarding the Mandela effect. So, but I'll not say any more on this video because it's not really about it. But if you're interested in the Mandela effect, do your own research on it and come to your own conclusion regarding it. But I have done a video, just a couple of videos back, regarding Newburgh and the view from my windows in my house. But I'll leave it at that. I won't go on it. I won't go on about that on this video. Just look back at my channel. It's called Vanish. Or Vanished. I titled it Vanished. And it was regarding the town of Newburgh. So you're getting some good views of the River Tay there. It isn't really technically the coastal, well it's not the coast that we're on, but it's called the Fife Coastal Path. It's perhaps because it actually ends up at the coast where it meets the North Sea. The path will probably run from Newburgh and beyond Abernethy and it'll eventually end up at the coast, so they maybe just called it the Fife Coastal Path for that reason. Path leading to the coast, but we're just going the opposite way, we're going inland. And that's just the banks of the River Tay there. There's some sort of counter or something, or device or something, maybe monitor for the number of people passing perhaps. Yeah, I was just looking at that. It could have been a counter or something. Monitor how many people was using this path, perhaps that's what that device was that I was highlighting earlier there. So I dare say this would be a lovely walk if it was in the summer, on a clear day at least. I'm sure we'll get some great views. But we got what we got, I suppose. Better than nothing. Got some kind of view. It's been a bit of a mixed terrain I've been walking on. Been hill walking through the woods, through fields, through some roads. A bit of a mixed bag. A variety of terrains we've walked on. So we're now back in the woods again. Well, not the woods, but small woods. And then we'll be getting into Newburgh, and we'll be doing a wee bit of urban walking as well, just to pass the time because we're quite early. So I think that we're on about maybe going for a walk along the Newburgh waterfront. So this hike is a bit of a mixed bag of lands that we've been walking on anyway. So we'll walk into woods, and now we're going to be through the town, which is urban walking. We'll walk through fields. So it's been a bit of a mixture. It's been a not bad hike actually. It's not been overly strenuous because, like I said earlier, there isn't any Munros in Fife. It's just hills. And the highest one we've done was 280 metres above sea level. So it wasn't the biggest hill we've climbed. So it wasn't that difficult for any hill walking as such. And the ground's been fairly easy to walk on. It's just a bit slippy from time to time. A wee bit muddy and that. That's to be expected for this time of year, of course. Very damp ground. We're just basically utilising time because we're quite early. So you can see there's like an old cottage or something down there, abandoned cottage, or presumably it's a bit derelict. I've seen it before from the road. I've been always wanting to get a closer look at that sometime. There's a lay-by just up from there on the road just up. That's the road there. There's a lay-by just pretty much across from this old building. To see Newburgh's distillery. That's it there. It's a distillery in Newburgh. And that's the way we came from. And we're just heading basically into Newburgh from here. Back into the urban bit of the hike. We're in Newburgh now. We're still technically on the coastal path. There's a sign just there saying coastal route. So it's been certainly a mixture of terrains and lands that we've been walking through on this path. So this route actually comes into Newburgh waterfront, which is quite a lovely place. As I say, it's really quite ironic because I was here just a few days back for a totally different reason. It was regarding, as I said earlier, about the, the Mandela effect. And I went to the waterfront. I had no idea that we're actually going to be coming here for this hike until just a couple of days back. You know, it was certainly after that I'd been to Newburgh, and then coincidentally we're back here again. Or I'm back here again with the club. It's quite nice actually, this. Quite nice. So, I certainly haven't done this path before anyway. I've been to Newburgh before, but I've not done this actual path into the waterfront. I have to remember this one, I could do this one myself quite easily. You know. So that's the hill that we came down earlier from. So we came down from there. And we're just heading along here into the waterfront. I think that boat's well and truly sunk. And there is an antenna on the top of it as well, so I'm assuming it's been stuck in the clay and sunk down. So we're actually finally right next to the River Tay now. You could practically just throw a stone that close to it. Although the path's coastal, as they call it, it's quite a bit up. You're up on that hill. But this is now the path that's actually a stone throw from the River Tay. So you're literally right by it now. So as I say, even though this route's called the coastal path, it does go quite a bit inland, and you're up on these hills, and that's still considered the coastal path, even though the River Tay's there. Technically, as I say, it isn't really the coast as such, because it's the riverbank, but the coast, it probably might lead to the coast, which is on the east side of Fife. Just spotted another one of these counter things, or whatever they are, sensors or something. There's one at each side of the path, and I saw this red dot before on the other one. It's not a light, it's a dot, some label or something. So I think that's maybe just to monitor the number of people that's using the path. That's what I guess anyway. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I can only assume that when you walk between these monitors, it'll break a signal or something, and that'll count for a person passing it, presumably. So it's really odd because, like I say, just for a completely unrelated reason, just a few days back I was here for that Mandela effect I was on about. Now, the club could have went anywhere for the shorter hike, but there's about 1 in a million chance of it being here again. Completely unrelated reason, and Newburgh is not really an area that I'd come to an awful lot. I can't ever recall the Hill Walking Club coming here neither. But as I say, it's such a mega coincidence that we're back exactly where I was. I was here specifically to get a view of Dundee, so I could see my house from here to figure out what went on, why I can no longer see Newburgh from the window. And I was parked here, parked right there, more or less, and I was looking over towards Dundee, which you won't see now because of all the mist. So that's just a mega coincidence. Too much of a coincidence. But I've covered that kind of stuff in my video before, but that's for a different video, not for this one. I'll just focus in on the hill walk and the sightseeing. You can look back at my channel if you want to see that video. I titled it Vanished, so if you type that in on my channel you should find it. I've covered other bizarre stuff on my channel as well, but I don't want to mention that on this one. So that's just such a mega coincidence that here I am again for a completely unrelated reason, exactly where I was earlier on when I took myself here. And Port Allen is across the River Tay. It's just down from Errol. A small place called Port Allen. It's a really nice place to visit. I've been there before. And it's, as I say, it's across the River Tay, just over in that direction, in that general direction. So.
Was it 5 houses long today?
Well, I didn't like see the, I didn't like
So, I think we're just going to basically be hanging about here for a bit until the bus comes, because it's going to be getting dark fairly soon. I mean, it's 2:30, so there's not really any point in venturing off any distance. So, I think we're just basically utilising time, killing time, so to speak. But yeah, it's been a not bad walk. The weather's been fairly dry considering. So, worked up an appetite for my Christmas dinner now. As I say, the Caledonian Hill Walking Club does its Christmas hill walk on the second Sunday of December. Throughout the year it's the third Sunday of the month. There's a couple of early morning pickups. 7 o'clock usually in June and 7 o'clock in August, whereas all the rest are normally 8 o'clock. Well, today was actually 9 o'clock because it was quite near Dundee anyway. So, just not really sure what we're going to do now. There's not really much. We'll find a cafe or something, I don't know. We'll just play it by ear, I suppose. But that's pretty much the hill walk done. So that's the miles done. We've done the cross country. We've ended up here at Newburgh, so and it's the Caledonian Hill Walking Club that I'm with. It's based in Dundee, actually opened, founded in 1961. So I remember it had its 50th anniversary thing. That was back in 2011. So I'm not sure what they've done for the 60th one. Not really sure, but I'm glad I'm with it. It's a really good club. I don't think really done much on the 50th. It was just, I just remember them mentioning that it was the 50th anniversary, and for the 60th it'd probably be something like the same as well. Old building there. So we're just kind of like walking along the path to the edge of Newburgh. We're not going as far as Abernethy. If we kept going along here, we'd get to Abernethy, but it'd be about 4 or 5 miles, but we've not got time for that. So we're just going so far along here and then just doubling back into the waterfront of Newburgh. So it's just passing time basically. So it's not really much more to see really. If there's anything significant, I'll record it. Yeah, if I see anything really spectacular, I'll record it, but there's not really much more to show at the moment. It's just pretty much going to be like this, I think. And the River Tay there, just on the right. As far as we're really going, we're just basically turning back. There isn't much more to see, so, and the rain is starting to come on again, so we're just basically heading back. Yeah, just do the wee video just to let the run off the video. Yeah, I was just wondering why I was. But yeah, so there wasn't really much more to see. So that's it basically. I just rounded it off. We're just basically heading back into the centre. As you could tell, there isn't really a change of scenery of any sort. So that's about a 10-mile hill walk we've done. And I've worked up an appetite for my Christmas dinner. We're going to Tayport for our Christmas dinner, by the way. So the bus will pick us up from Newburgh. That'll continue along the road, the Fife routes. I think it's the A12 or something, or the A13, something like that, one of the roads anyway. And we'll eventually end up at Tayport. Tayport upon Tay. And that's where we're going to have our Christmas dinner. Okay, right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm just going to round it off now. See what else I put on my channel. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye for now.